Howdy. I got unit testing working. Check it out. So today we're going to look at OneForm. We're going to add something, potentially the component, because that's what I've written a test here for. But basically the idea is that I'm going to start working on the actual code now. And a few things that I want to note that I had to do to get this working. I have Jest and Cypress. I have both of their ESLint rules in here. Because of that, they conflict. And to fix that, what I did was I created an ESLint config specifically for Cypress, which overrides the Jest valid expect and disables it. Honestly, it should just be off. I like strings. That fixed that problem. And then Jest wouldn't run. I don't know if anybody knows this, but you can't use the import statement in Jest. The way to make it work is to add a Babel config. I did not have to run Webpack or anything, but I added a Babel config. I added the presets here, and I don't think I need this React one, but I put it there anyway. And then the preset env modules needs to be set to auto. It's set to false in my other environments. I might not even need to add this, but basically you can, in your Babel config, you can do this env thing. I'm pretty sure they're deprecating it, but I'm not exactly sure. I don't want to tell anyone anything wrong. I don't know. This is so convenient. Here I have like my development stuff, and then whatever in my production, and this is my config for production, and this is my config for testing. Well, there we go. And now just as watching and working and doing its thing. I added a dev test and a build test. There should be a lint one too, but that's separate. Anything else? What is this? Oh, I'm not even using it yet. Yeah, I was curious if this will work. I wanted to try it. Great. Type is invalid. Expected a string for built-in component. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I have no clue what that means in this case because I just literally just rendered it in the middle of nowhere. And that's probably what the issue is. But yeah, I mean, let's make it into a variable. Test form. Oh my goodness. There we go. The test form is equal to OneForm and see what happens. Because there's no, actually, this is no element. That's why it's breaking. So let's quickly create it. And you don't need React in scope anymore with React 17. You don't need it like this. Your ESLint rules might tell you you need it, but you don't. And the only reason they're going to tell you you need React in scope is because you have to update them potentially, because that is something new to React 17. So let's add some stuff in here. I'm going to memoize it. Let's memoize OneForm equals memo OneForm. Oh, and I need prop types. I'm going to use prop types as well. That is absolutely not right. That's right. And then let's do this. Prop types equals bam, bam. There's nothing in it, but I know what they should be. So I know there's values. I know there are errors. I know, let's just do this for now. I know there are on change. There's the validations. There is the validation type. There are group validations. Yeah. And then something, I'm missing something for sure. I went over it in the video, most likely. This is the basics. Huh. Yeah. Can't remember. I'm going to have to check my notes. Where are my notes? I said it needs errors, group validation, on change, on submit. Yeah, you can't do this one without on submit. I mean, that's like the most important one. Cool. Prop types dot whatever. They're not, none of them, I'm going to make them all optional. The errors is an object. The value is an object. This is a string. It's actually one of a particular set of values that I'm going to give it. So it's going to be object.keys of a particular set, which are going to be validation types like that. And it's going to be change like this. I'm going to keep with the caps. I'm still unsure about the caps there, but yeah, this is a constant value. I guess it's fine. Sometimes I lowercase them. I had lowercase them because I was like, there's no reason for the caps anymore. It's not like it's an enum or something, but it essentially acts like one, but it's still passing a string. Yeah, I don't know. And then submit. We're getting somewhere. This is going to look like the API. There's our validation type. It's one of those keys. And then validations is an object. Group validations is an array. Now, I know these prop types are pretty useless right now. I'm just putting them in here. And these are both functions. And then I need to assign like default props, but they're still currently in the potentially deprecated, maybe already deprecated state. I don't know what to do with them. And because of that, I'm not going to use them. I'm going to instead create something here. Now, yeah, I guess I'll put it above the prop types. Initials, I prefer it above the function if I'm going to make it like the defaults. But I usually put the prop types right above the component. Initial props. And so if you don't pass anything in, it would use them. No, that's not good either. If you don't pass anything, it should use them, yes. But if you do pass something, then it should still use them. And as far as I know, when you're accepting props in here, you can't, like, I don't think that can work because that would deconstruct it out. Huh. I know it wouldn't work. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. There are some, oh, I know how you would do it. You'd have to create an initial one for each one. And I can put it in an object, it's fine. It's weird. Is this right? No, it needs to be equal sign. Probably wondering why I'm doing it this way. We'll see. The initial props of errors is going to be, I can make it object.prototype, which is fine. It doesn't even create a new object now, it just uses that. And like values and all this stuff, I need these guys. That's why I needed the colon. Too late now. I got some of these done, and then this one's object. This one is also object, even though it's an array. So there's a way to make an array based off the prototype. I can't remember, but I'm just gonna make an array like that. On change. You might wonder why I'm doing that prototype. Yeah, it's in some ways it could be unsafe, and people might complain. Fine, I'll just make them different. Yeah, they need to be different. These need to be different. I don't mind if the functions are the same, or based on the prototype, but these ones I want to be like that. They don't. For some reason, this one should have a default value. I prefer libraries not having default values, but it allows it to work in a way that you would expect by default. For now, I will make a default on it, but I don't necessarily like making defaults. And then this needs to be exported as well, the validation types. Right now, we gotta put these on it, and then this has to be exported on the memoized version. But the prop types go on the non-memoized version because that's how React does it. It's honestly annoying, but that's fine. OneForm prop types. You're wondering probably why I'm doing this. Yeah, we don't necessarily need them here. Like, they could be exported separately. Right now, I'm just putting them in the same thing, and I can deal with that later. Normally, I would bring these down too, but the only one I'm doing it on is this because it's got like more involved. This is not a function. This is an object. There we go. I could use object prototype. I don't think you can use array prototype though, but you can use object prototype for these kind of things to create them. This is fine. But the reason I'm doing this is because I have to do all this stuff. I don't like it, but there you go. And this one didn't have it. There. If you don't pass one in, it uses those. And now we actually have a component, but we're not rendering anything in the component. We need to return here. We need to return something. We're returning a div. And normally, obviously, this could be implicitly returned, but we're going to add stuff to it. It's actually going to be a form library. In fact, what I could do right now is actually wrap it in form. Like that. But I don't know what the test is erroring. It says the prop types. Oh, did I put equals? Oops. I've been doing a lot of Node.js development lately with the equals require. Yeah. Now this works. Okay, cool. So expect to be truthy. Is that a thing? Truthy? I have no clue. It would warn me here in a second if I did it wrong. Yeah, that works. This is cool. We've got a test. We've got our component. We've got the basic structure of what we need to build, and it works. Great. Now I'm going to fill in all the gaps eventually, but I mean, I could just... There, now they're used. Are you happy? ESLint rules? Great. Now they're used. Let's see, what do we want to do first? I guess this is a pretty good start. We got the basic OneForm right in there. We got initial props. We got which is like default props, honestly. And we got our prop types. Oh no, these do need to be object prototype or something. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine because I've defined them here above the components. Anytime they're defaults, they're going to be consistent. That's why I did it that way. Even this one could be like, could be one of these guys. But there's no reason to define a separate one. Function prototype's fine. It's not like I'm mutating the function or adding anything to it. Now somebody else could, but these are the defaults that I pass into OneForm. They're not being exposed. The only reason the other ones I want to change them is because these might be exposed at some point. But again, they're not going to be exposed like this. I don't use these internally. I use other things. I think that's it. Yeah, there's OneForm. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? Yeah, it doesn't work at all, but it passes the unit test. We could run some tests on it that will fail, and then I can go fix them later. But the thing is, I don't want to run the tests on this. I want to run the tests on something else, on the hooks. That's what's really important to me. I just needed a test because Jest complains when you don't have any tests. I needed something so I could get started. The other things is I'm really thinking of what to start with. I have my Trello document here, and it has some values in it on what would be good to start with. But there's a lot. I think registration is one of the easy ones, but I really need to start with creating the observable. I'll do that in the next video.